found me before I found teaching because because I was just an English language program learner. When
Mm,
I felt that that's so overwhelming, I was really fascinated by the way it was an English and business and communication program, and I always wanted to be a trader. I really
mm,
love the English language. I was so stupid in the beginning because I just told myself that I'm going to learn 7 languages at the same time. So imagine thinking about learning English. English was okay for me because uh, we learn English at school. But
mm.
I just told myself that I'm gonna learn English, Turkish, Arabic, Farsi, French, Spanish.
Just because
But
you wanted to teach? That's why? Was that the reason?
no, I mean I was really interested in the languages. First,
Mm,
learning a lot of languages, but I was a little naive because that was a big deal for me.
mm,
So I just told myself that I'm going to develop English first for the sake of being a teacher.
mm,
And I learned English in a place that avoid grammar. They are
mm,
they don't teach grammar at all. Uh, but the thing is, there are like grammar exercises in the program.
mm,
So for me, that was like in the beginning, that was a challenge. I'm not from a major. I'm going to teach a language.
mm,
So, but teaching found me when I started like teaching my friends.
mm,
They wanted me to help them. If you can give a course, give us a course, and let's see. So I started helping a lot of my friends. I thought of taking a TEFL certificate, and I thought I'm gonna be a teacher, but you ended up like having the TEFL certificate inside my room. I go with my TEFL certificate, I get back with my TEFL certificate. It didn't secure me a job. And I
mm,
waited and waited and waited until one of my friends who really believed in me, and he knew that I'm going to be a good trainer, a good teacher one day, and
mm,
he made a recommendation for me. And because I'm not from the major, it wasn't so easy to find a job with a certificate.
mm,
But I secured a job, and I started very, yeah, I took the very exciting way because I remember when I started, I did a lot of things like I studied the lesson I'm going to teach for the class. I studied the personalities of the students.
mm,
I studied the exercises. I wanted to have it so fun. That I made a lot of games and a lot of activities. It gave me a very good push in the beginning. People liked me. The feedback was so positive. And then I moved to the realization that that's an academic thing. It's not a
mm,
game. You gotta take the professional academic way at the end of the day.
mm,
I I passed the CELTA and I took the teach the IELTS IELTS train the trainer IELTS training preparation.
mm,
That was like 12, 13 years ago. So now I feel like, but I still recall the memory as a vivid memory because when you
mm,
start, I think it's more exciting talking now about the starting point
mm,
because in the beginning you don't have doubts, but you criticize yourself a lot. My English is not so good.
mm,
I
mm,
want to develop
mm,
my language. I want to be seen as someone speaking the language like native because you know this kind of like Americanization of learning the language. You learn
mm,
the language for uh, a society purpose, but there's always a personalized image of yourself learning the language. So I wanted to see myself respected, seen by people that this guy can speak English. And maybe I just remember something that happened maybe 15 years ago.
mm.
I had I worked in sales, and one of the sales team was promoted to be a manager, and I asked like why him, why exactly him, and they said
Mm.
he has very good English. So that might be, the catalyst who started
Mm.
everything. That might be the reason I feel that
The
English is the.
life-changing moment
I
happened.
guess so. I
Mm.
swear that I guess that was the starting point that I'm going to take a course, an English course. English is the lingua franca of business. English is the communicative uh, tool for everybody to communicate. I guess that was the moment I just told myself that I'm going to learn language. I'm going to
Mm.
focus on learning the English language before I thought of being a teacher or a trainer.
Yeah, no, you talked. I mean, thanks so very much for giving us the comprehensive explanation how it all started. Now, but I'm more curious of the transition from the learner to the teacher. This is the reason why you started learning English. But what was the transition? When was the first time when you were standing in a class or maybe delivering an online program? How was that experience? That also takes me toward another part. How was how was the experience of teaching to the friends and then to the real public, a real person who is, willing to learn the English and he's not the friend, he's totally an outsider.
Yes, absolutely. The thing is, like when I started teaching my friends, I took it very, very professional. I even like had
Mm,
to write my own lesson plans and write my own lesson objectives. So because I didn't know what training and teaching is about before TEFL, but I felt that every time I in the CELTA and TEFL, I just told myself like I used to do that myself. I used to do that myself,
mm,
and it just give you the feeling that sometime it's thinking is about is the invention, when you think
mm,
you invent creative ways of teaching. After taking the CELTA and the TEFL, things absolutely changed dramatically. When I secured the job and I started giving classes, I had to take the professional approach, and I had to follow the instructions, and it was simple to if we try to give it in a nutshell, I think the most important part of teaching is warming up, because
mm,
when you do not warm up, you do not build rapport with the students. You might feel that the student is like it's another class, it's another boring class. So
mm.
warm up is a very kind of inspiring moment of the teaching class.
So
You
what
start.
what sort of warm-up do you use in your classes, specifically when it comes to delivering online sessions?
It starts from using visuals, a picture,
Mm,
and you can talk about a picture, describing a picture. It can be something to recall from the last session, but it
mm,
should be a little engaging. It should be
mm,
fun, because I believe that education happens when it's fun. I remember that I told you last time about one of the students told me that the session is really boring and we want to change it. That was a pronunciation session. And I
mm,
feel like teaching pronunciation is engaging with my students. But I was like the traditional kind of like writing pronunciation transcript on the wall
mm,
and the white on the whiteboard, looking at them. Sometime when you are a teacher, you transform yourself a little bit. And they were like 12, 13 young learners, and one of them, I just like heard from my back someone say like this session is boring. So I turned around and asked like, what do you think about the session? Why do you feel it's boring? Am
mm.
I boring or the session is boring? She said that if you're continuing like that, you're boring. So she was very, very brave, and it might be an embarrassing moment,
Mm.
but I just felt that she's
That
giving
that's
me
that, that's quite interesting.